we are going to just go directly into this class. It's going to be a very short one. I'm not really prepared for this class, but let's just get something going. We are going to talk about endpoints and API documentations. Those are tools of a good backend engineer. What is an endpoint? That was you asked. What's an endpoint? What's an API? API is a application programming interface. And what are endpoints? Endpoint is just simply just put endpoint as a point that you expose when you build an application. There's a point that you expose that somebody, like a URL that you expose, that people can visit and get access to your 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 app. For instance, one of them is CRUD. CRUD is create for creating, that is post. um, R for read, that is get, that handles the get request. U for update, that handles your put or patch request. Then D for delete, that if you want to delete a resource. You read it. So let's just go. Well, the endpoint is interface that allows the consumer to interact with your application. Now, CRUD are endpoints in an API documentation. CRUD is an endpoint. So what is CRUD? CRUD, create, it means create means you have to post. C stands for create, which shows that which stands for post request, that shows a post request, allows a user to type a message. For instance, you're on social media, Facebook, you want to post something, that is a post request. You type and you share with your friends, that's a post request. You now have the read. R stands for read, get request. For instance, allows a user to read, just like reading info on a website. You visit www.google.com/books. You will now see a list of, that is a get request. You have to have update slash push, that is, you start for update slash put. Update request makes modification on a posted request, make modification on something that you've posted. Then you have the delete. So when it goes to our endpoints, now when it goes to API documentation, there are tools that you need. We are going to be focusing on Postman. You have Swagger, you have Thunder clients on VS Code. We are going to focus on Postman, because Postman, when you write your code, to test it, to test your API, you have to use Postman, that will be fetching into your MongoDB. You have endpoint that you need to expose. Then open an account. So first of all, you have to have an Postman account on your system. If you don't have a Postman account, you have to download Postman for Windows, for Linux, for macOS. You have to download it. And then you have to sign up. You have an account. You have to have your email and a password, and you have to sign up. So let me just show you around. Let's get this thing going. So I have my code here, my basic code. This is my basic code. This is my index.js. These are my middlewares. These are my routes. I will not show you my code base because I'm using my real project to demonstrate. So these are my routes. You will see my users.js. This is my model. These are my listen. So these are the points I've exposed slash API authentication. You see app.use/API. You see app.use/users, app.hash/post. So this is it. So now let's go to my API. Let's open Postman. I have Postman already open. I have it configured on my system already. So let's just go. Let me use the Post-it app. This is my Post-it app. This is it. So let's say I create something. Now let's look at this Post-it app. This is the working environment. Home, workspaces, API, explore. For instance, if you want to open a collection, for instance, you want to start, you have to say create new collection. You see it at the top left corner, create new collection. This plus, you can create new collection, or you can, if you don't want to create a collection, you can just create new, and you will just have something else. But to keep your work in order, you click on create new collection. It is initializing. It is initializing. If it initializes, we will now create new collection and now name it properly. For instance, now if you want to use this project to say you want to store social media app, that new collection will house everything. Be a folder that will house all your post requests, get requests, delete, update or patch requests. So everything will be ordered. This thing is taking a little bit of time, but let me take you to just show you an interface. This is the Postman interface. If you look at this, you see postman, this is the interface. When you see this, this is where you have, this is your interface where you type your this thing. You see this thing, if you can see a post, you can see a button here, a toggle button here. It gives you allowance to choose either get, post, put, patch, delete. It has so many this thing. When you choose how the endpoint, the crawl operation you want to perform, you put your email. Then you put your email. If it's a post request, you put an email. Let me just go back to this thing and see if that's initialized. This is taking so much time. You put your email. Okay, let's say this is the create new collection. Now this create new collection, this is it. We can now name it. For instance, wrong collection. This is it. So now if I have created this new collection, let me rename it. Let me just say is social media app. Click on enter. You have named this app. When you open it, you will now so as we were saying, as I was saying, okay, I didn't even know that I'm even live self. Technology no be a mate. Okay, this is it. So look at this postman interface here. If you look at it, this is the postman interface. Now, this is how you create a collection. You see it here. Create new collection. I don't know if I will make my hair. Let's do it like this. This is this plus icon here. It shows create new collection. This is how you create new collection. Why do you create a new collection? You create a new collection so that you can manage all your files in one place. If you click on this now, you can create new collection. You see, new collection name. Let's say social media app. Let me read this in. Social media app 2. I click enter. The thing has this thing. So let me adjust my screen so that you can be able to see. So you look at it now. This is my social media app. My creating new collection now. I have my social media app already. Let me reduce this. So this is my social media app. Now you see this is my social media app. If you toggle, you see this star. Let me click on this star. I've taken it up. I've pinned it up here. I've pinned it to the top. With this star now, I've pinned it to the top. I've used it to pin this into the top so that I can easily access it. Now look at share, more, and all this. Let's say add a request. Let's say I want to add a request. I click on it. Add a request. Let's say this is supposed to be a create user. Create user is supposed to be a post request. Now I've gotten a name. Now I go take a post request. If I have the URL that you're working on your distance, let's assume it's http://localhost my environment local environment 2929/API/ you input your distance, your address here. When you put it here, you see. So now this is the local. When you want to create a post request, you have to organize your body. You have to get your body. You can see params, auth, headers, body, pre-request, test setting. You go to the body. You click on your body. When you click on your body, this is a post request. You click on your body. It's also open knob. This is to open up. Click on your body. This app is hanging. I don't know why. Let's just go. Let me use my live destination. So let's say this is a post request. This is my URL. Where I put my URL. This is my URL. This is my URL. This is it. Now, you see, after I create my post here, I will now click on body. When you click on body, you will now select. You have text, JavaScript, you select JSON. Now you will now type in what you want here. Let me remove this thing. Cut. Let me cut it. Let me type in. Let me paste what I want here. I've created this user already. Let me create another user. Let me say, create this user. His name is Chinonso. Chinonso at learnable.com. Let's say his password is 235. So let's send. So now I've typed this thing. I don't even know. I think I'm connected to my database. Okay, I've not started my server. Let me go and start my server on my app so that I can easily. Let me start my server. Quickly start my server. npm start. Okay, let's watch. I'm not going to show you my code base because I'm not here to show you my code. I'm just trying to show you how to use the postman tool. That's my focus. How to use the postman tool. So that you see, Posty server is running on localhost 2929 connected to MongoDB. So now let's go back to postman. So look at this postman. This is, first of all, I created First of all, I created a collection with this great collection. Then now I take a post request. This is the address. This is my address. So now let me create this one. Let's see what it will do. You see the response, the body. This is what I got back. This is my request. Now this is my response. This is the response. Let me toggle it a little bit. If you go down like this, you see how you can toggle it. I don't know if you're seeing. I don't think you'll be seeing. Okay, let me adjust my screen a little bit so that we can. I don't know, can we see? Okay, this is the response I got. Let me make it a little bit bold. You see, this is the response. The username I inputted was Chinonso. Let's do it like this. The username I put was Chinonso. Look at it, Chinonso. Email was chinonso at learnable.com. This is the password. This password has been hashed. I use bcrypt. I've hashed it. You see admin false. This is the ID. This is created at an order. This is it. So now, because of the assignment that was given, now you have if you want to document it, because when you're going to document your API, you need to have this request so that when somebody wants to consume your API, the person can just go through your documentation and be able to see what you input and what will come out, the result you get and something like that. So now, like this is a post I created. Now, if I want to document this post now, what I have to do, look at this place. If you look at this body, you see the status report 0201 is created, is successful. This request has been fulfilled and resulted in a new resource being created. This is the time it took another. So this is save response. You see, let me click on this save response. I click on this save response. It says save it as an example. I click on save as an example. If I click on save as an example, let me say this is, I want to name it now. I have to name it. You see this place now, success. Let me successful user. You successfully create user created. Yes, this is what I want to name it. So if you look at this post request, let's go to the left hand side. Look at this left hand side, this workspace, this place. You see what I saved here. This is it. It is here. So it will now carry the result I got. Now let me go back to this user created. You see, user created. Now, when you talk about documentation, this is what the next thing you need to do. This is what you need to do. I can save this response that I got. You can click on save. After you save it, then now look at, if you go to the top, your top right hand corner, you see this thing. You see documentation, you see comments, you see code. Now you click on this thing now. When you click on this place now, you can now add a documentation. You see, okay, I've even added a documentation already. Create a new, it's supposed to be, create a new user that have an account in the Post-it app. So now I've made a small comment here. I click on save. My this thing is already saved. This is it. My stuff is already saved, and I can, you see this cross here, this icon here. I can click it, and my this thing is well opened again. So now if you look at this my stuff now, you see user created. You see user created successfully. You see this one failed, because you're supposed to document when what happened when you type something that is wrong. You have to document it. You also have to document what is right when you type. So now let's look at the breaking change that happened. This is my documentation. So the most important thing now is for you to save all these things. For instance, let's say I want to add on. I'm not going. Okay, let's assume now. Let me just say I'm going to add this guy again. Let's see what response it will give to me. Look at the first one I added. Let me try to create it again. You see the response it will give to me. You see? You see? This is a 40500 internal server error. You see? This is already telling me that I have created this resource already, and I cannot create it again. It said error given when no one specific message is suitable. I've already created this resource again. So now, if I want to document this failure, see this save response icon. I click you save response. Save as example. Don't save. If you say click on save a file, it will go and save it to your system. What you need to say is save example. When you click on save an example, you say user created. You will now come failed to create, failed to create user. So this is it. Once you just click enter, it will automatically store this experience here under this part, this folder. If I click a look at it now, failed to create user. That I failed to create it. For me, I don't need this one because I've already done it. I'm just using it for demonstration purpose. I've deleted it. So this is it. So now, if you look at this workflow now, if you look at my file, this is my Post-it app. This is my Post-it app. If you open my Post-it app, you will see that I have create user, I have login user. It means I have code that to log in a user, create post. So these are my files to manage everything. Now if you open all my files now, you see how all these things are arranged and sectioned. You see it. You see it. Put request, delete request, get request, post request. That's how I arrange my own code base. So for me, you just if you say, I would say we should just focus on how to document our API. That's the most important thing. How to document your API. Now, when you're documenting your API, look at this icon now. I can edit. With this icon, if I click on this pencil icon, I can easily edit. I can add more things. But you don't need to add too much grammar to not make your this thing verbose. As long as you're tracking what you're doing and you're saving the snapshots, you're good. As far as you're tracking what you're doing and you're saving your snapshots, you're okay. So this is it. Your documentation. That's what you say. So when you look at, let's say we want to go to documentation. Let us go to documentation. After everything, let's say view complete documentation. View complete collection documentation. If I click on this, as at now where I am now, let me view my complete documentation. You see my this is my Post-it app. Post-it is a social media app that allows you to create and all that blah blah blah. Create user allows the user to create an account. You see my post request, see the URL, create a new user that can have an account in Post-it app. Look at the body of the data, the one I just created now. Also look at the field request, user created successfully. This one is the one I use Tappy. I think I use Tappy's name to create. This is the body response. This is a push request. So now if you just scroll through, it is just showing you all. This is the what we call documentation, API documentation. Look at it. This is a whole lot. This is all of it. This is what I've done so far. This is it. So this is what I've done so far. This is it. So now, when you talk about this thing, you see, I have what we call publish collection. I'm not ready to publish because I'm still working on my this thing. If I click on this publish collection, it will route me to take me to the right thing that I will now publish. So I hope we could get a little. I'm able to help you to get to understand. So if it's not really detailed, but it just to just show us what is expected, and so that we will focus on the things that are very important, that are very crucial. Let me here get your response on this.